at least where Prashant Kishor is concerned, there's also a dichotomy that should exist ideally, whether he focuses on all seats or he focuses on just a few where he wants to create maximum impact, because ultimately it will be, that vote will be cast in his name. Because Maria, if we look at the surveys that we've been tracking, the political stock exchange that I actually look at the numbers, the Jan Suraj is not really tracking at the same speed as a Prashant Kishor. Yes. So the votes will come under the name of Prashant Kishor, and how many constituencies, how many seats can he actually track? Because his vote might be 10,000, but he'll need candidates. Let's say if it is 10,000, he'll need candidates who will be able to draw in enough number of votes on their own merit. Now, will it happen is that big question. But Sajjan, to bring you back into this conversation, the way things are stacked, because now we are, closing into the end of this broadcast and this coverage for you. What would be the key factors that you'd be looking at? What are your X factors? We've spoken about the 5 personalities with Rajdeep Sardesai that could possibly play a part in shaping the political future of Bihar when the last vote is counted on the 14th of November. But what are your X factors?
Well, as per the ground scenario, what we expect that Nitish Kumar is going to be the fulcrum of all the X factor, right?
Absolutely. I think you have to talk more about Nitish Kumar. I realize that increasingly he is actually that pillar that is holding this election, like he was in all the last 3 elections. Go ahead, Sajjan.
Yes, true. Broadly, and this is a very crude and broad dichotomy, what we are witnessing, that you find overwhelmingly women are going by the scheme-centric choices. And therein the Nitish Kumar comes prominently, while the males, including the youths, mind it, youths also have a caste and community, right? So they are no more, they are not an autonomous category. So we do find that gender-wise, and it follows on the plank of Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, etc., you find overwhelming section of women going for scheme-centric choices, and Nitish has the clear advantage. On the other hand, you find male across ages kind of considering the caste community equations. 3, fascination for Prashant Kishor is it's very vague in terms of the moment you find the ones who are admiring Prashant Kishor, and we have found the moment you ask, will you be voting or you people be voting for Jan Suraj, suddenly they'll say that we will look for the candidate. So it's not PK, but rather candidate via candidate. So that way, PK precisely maybe nota votes. Last time nota votes in Bihar was around 2%, maybe a couple of more percentage. That's my expectation. But ultimately, it is Nitish Kumar who is going to be the culmination of all the X factors. And he is going to be, I think, perhaps the parallel is Naveen Patnaik of Odisha. Nitish Kumar Sunset certainly maybe in future, but not in this election. And you do not find anything new with Tejashwi, right? In this election, he has nothing new to offer.
But there was a buzz, Maria, because
in
Bihar
2020.
2020, there was a buzz the minute he started, the narrative, or he, played to the youth with jobs and the promise of 10 lakh jobs. That changed it for him, and you could see it on ground.
Absolutely. I mean, when you arrived on the ground, you could listen to people who would say that this is what Tejashwi has promised. And there was that energy in his campaign, unprecedented surround sound around Tejashwi Yadav, because he was coming out of the shadow of his father. That was evident as well. So let's try and wrap this up perhaps with closing comments from RP Singh and Sanjay Kumar. Sanjay Kumar, you have also made a transition from being an educationist to now a politician. Will we be seeing you contest as well?
No, not this time. I am supporting the party in all possible manner, being an advocate of what Nitish ji has done in the past and what he is offering to the state. So not this time, but there's a lot of opportunity for someone like me to work for the welfare of the state and strengthening everything in the state.
Okay. RP Singh, your final thoughts? 14 तारीख को क्या होगा?
Well, Bihar is on a right track, और 14 तारीख को मैं आपको बढ़िया सी मिठाई खिलाऊंगा।
सर वो तो 14 को ही पता चलेगा, प्रॉमिस कर दिया मिठाई खिलाने का, जो भी रिजल्ट होगा खिलाना पड़ेगा फिर तो खिलानी पड़ेगी
पक्का। 14 तारीख को रिजल्ट नहीं होगा, नीतीश बाबू मुख्यमंत्री होंगे और दोनों को मैं आपको आपकी मनमर्जी की मिठाई खिलाऊंगा। और बताइए
सर, मिठाई हमको तो सिर्फ मिठाई खानी है, चाहे कोई भी जीते, हमें वो कोई नहीं है, चाहे कोई जीते पर खिलानी आपको पड़ेगी। अब But chaliye, RP Singh, thank you for taking the time out and joining us. We have, Amitabh Tiwari, let's bring him in as well, Maria, because ultimately, what is it that will drive this election? Amitabh, you've spoken at length, you've written at length, where the importance of the EBC vote comes into question. A lot of that vote will be defined on the selection of candidates this time around, Amitabh. For you, that still remains one of the biggest X factors. What are the others?
Yeah, of course, clearly the Mahila vote is an X factor, and so is the Jan Suraj party. Of course, as Sajjan has rightly put it, NDA's future in this election depends upon the performance of JDU. If JDU falls to 25, like Prashant Kishor is claiming, and he puts up strong candidates against JDU, like the LJP did, then we could see a very tight contest. Correct. And one of the risks also in the NDA this time is the transfer of votes. That's a big risk factor in the NDA, which a lot of people are not talking
But
about.
if you look at
Knows that
what
if they fall
happened
to
in
25, they will not be CM. Correct.
Yes, 2020, Amitabh, when the election shifted from the first phase to the third phase, JDU's best performance came in the third phase and the second phase. When they went on to win the maximum number of seats, that was also because women voters outperformed men. With the direct benefit transfer of this nature, all the schemes in the name of Mukhyamantri, Rozgar Yojana, and everything is for the women, the Jivika Didis, for the top-ups which has happened, I mean, huge amounts here. Do you think still the women of Bihar who have almost been like a captive voter of Nitish Kumar, can they let down Nitish Kumar in what will be his send-off election, the farewell election?
Finally.
Looks
Finally.
like.
Looks like, yeah.
Looks like.
I would not say it's about letting down, because even amongst women there will be caste-based preferences. Correct.
True.
So it will be largely dependent upon his ability to extract 5-6% women vote from the core vote block of Mahagathbandhan, and that would then tilt the election in his favor.
Amitabh, look at it in terms of, I just want to give you some figures. The CSDS Lokniti figures in terms of how the women voted. One thing is very clear, that women voted an extra percent for the NDA than it did where the MGB is concerned. Let's break it down further in terms of caste calculations and how, coming from various castes, how women voted in 2020. And that's, Maria, where it comes down to with also what Amitabh is saying. Where the Yadav women were concerned, 82% voted the MGB, understandably. Where the OBC and the EBC women were concerned, only 18%, a lot of it primarily due to the law and order factor at that point of time, concerned with the fear of the Yadavs and the trust deficit that they had. Voted, only 18% voted for the MGB, while 63% of OBC and EBC women, it's interesting viewers to note
Which is
this.
non-Yadav OBCs.
Non-Yadav, yeah, because I give this Yadavs separately, right? So non-Yadav OBC, 63% and EBCs voted for the NDA. Dalit, again, only 24% of women voted for the MGB, while 31% of men voted for the MGB, Dalits. And 33% of women voted for the NDA. But interesting in all of this is because most of the Dalit vote at that time was split where the LJP is concerned. The LJP has now come into the fold of the NDA. So that vote will also go there. And put it in totality, viewers, the fact is if 10,000 rupees, it might be a one-time payment and we can't really emphasize enough on that. If 10,000 rupees has gone into, as claimed by the government, to 1 crore households, 75 lakh in the first tranche and 25 in the second tranche. Yes. 1 crore households have benefited with 10,000 rupees. This is inner state, and you have to underline it, where 60% of the state's monthly income falls below 10,000 rupees. So how big will this be? Where in a state like Maharashtra, the NDA has already primarily won an election on the basis of the Ladki Behin Yojana. So it's food for thought, lots of factors there. This is just another one. And trust us, over the course, Maria, of the next, a month and a half, you're going to find us in the studio and on the field, on the ground, getting you. This is your one-stop destination, be it data analytics, be it ground reports, be it in-depth analysis, which is on India Today.